big news. Cooper Webb, multi-year deal, fly racing. The news is out, JT. That's awesome. It's cool. Yeah, good for you guys.
Yeah,
you needed that 450 guy. We know that. We know that.
Yeah, and I think it's the right guy for us, right? Like, he fits with our brand. I think for a long time it was like, man, we cannot get this thing done. We've taken lots of shots at lots of different guys. But I think this one was just the right time, the right guy, and the right spot. It's a great thing for everybody involved. I think he's found a place where he can truly finish his career with us, and we are all in on that. And we're going to do everything we can to make him feel as special as possible and give him as much support as possible.
Do I get the custom gear that he gets?
No. It won't fit you.
I mean, define custom.
Just the special stuff that these guys get every now and then.
I would say probably not. It's not impossible, but I don't think you're going to get like multiple sets a year like those guys will.
Yeah. Phil, what do you think of your buddy Coop signing up? You just called him a loser, but
He is. I just was wondering, the press release photo that went out. That's the best one we could get of his face, like his facial expression.
That the one
What do you want me to do about his face?
I don't know. Just have him I
don't like your face.
Coop, his poses, when he's trying to stage for something. He always has an awkward facial expression.
Is that something you should tell him?
I do tell him. And the
Okay,
same thing keeps happening. Maybe
sure
after you pay him so much money, you can have him change.
That's his
something.
face.
So what you're saying that I should have done, walked into the photo studio and said, hey, Coop,
do something with
thank
your
you
face,
so much
please.
for being a part of this, but we're going to have to do something about your face.
Yes, yes, exactly.
okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
All right.
So work on that for me because
Yeah.
I've had no luck with it.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. Fair enough.
Maybe get him sauced up a little bit into the photo shoot. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There is
Get loose.
off-track Coop and then at-the-track Coop. There's two different Coops.
Yeah.
So,
we had. It was truly like a celebration on both sides, right? Like, we all felt great about it. We had a great time, went to dinner. So there were definitely a lot of laughs, not just standoffs in the photo studio.
Right. Dark, go ahead.
JT, what's it take to sign a guy like Coop? I'm sure people ask this all the time, right? I know money is one, but there were other offers on the table, I'm sure.
Know.
So what goes into whining and dining? What does it take to sign a guy like Cooper Webb?
It's a lot, right? Well, I think it's truly about the fit. I think he wanted to be somewhere where he was going to be made to feel special, and fortunately for his prior the company he was prior with, they have a lot of guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a blessing for them. Like, they truly have a really strong lineup and have for decades. So with that comes difficulty in making everybody stand out or feel special, give everybody individual attention. Like, I just can imagine how that goes, right? Well, for us, we've kind of been the opposite, right? A lot of our key guys have aged out, and we have kind of a younger crowd coming in with Hymus, and of course RJ's there, and he's going to be with us for the long term. But this gave us an opportunity to really key in on one 450 guy for 2025 and really devote all of our efforts toward him. And I think he identified that opportunity as well. And I just think it was the right place at the right time, and everything kind of fit. A lot of things have to fall in place for those deals to happen because they don't come available, very often. Like, look at a guy like Tomac or Roxon. Like, they've literally never changed. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as they were able to sign their own deal, that was it. They were there forever. So you kind of have to be willing to go all in and show whichever rider it may be that you're going to make them the centerpiece of your brand, and I think he recognized that and was willing to take a chance on us as much as we were willing to take a chance on everything moving forward with him. Right, he's accomplished a lot, but for us, we feel like we're just getting started. So we have really high hopes for where this can go.
Yeah, it was really you got Hymus, RJ, race winners, championship guys. Needed that 450 guy, and it's been that way for a few years. Obviously, Trey Kennard and Andrew Shorten were great.
All of our guys got old. Yeah, Andrew, Trey, Zacho, Baggett. You just go down the list. Like
Yeah.
we've had guys that can win, but it's been a few years. You know, Weston. Like there's been a ton of guys that were all top 10, top 5 race winning, but you know we didn't do a good job at the time, and we tried. It wasn't that we weren't trying, but we just didn't continue to fill that pipeline to make sure that we had that top tier guy. So this was our big swing at it.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Is he going to be head to toe? Besides the boot?
Yeah, so there will be more news coming. We're trying to be respectful of current situations that will eventually change. So you can obviously read between the lines of what I'm saying with that. But yes, there will be more news to come other than what just came today.
Okay.
Phil, did you yell at Coop for not picking your gear brand of choice, or how mad did you get at him, or?
No, I mean, I thought Coop needed a change 2 years ago, but the way contracts and stuff was falling for him, he just felt he fell on bad years with companies.
Okay. Yeah,
you know.
You mean as far as his performance on the track?
No, just in general.
No. You know, Coop's been up and down. So
Yeah,
that's what I meant.
he has been up and, but I mean, he's still a Supercross champion, you know.
Yeah.
But the way his contracts have always lined up, whether it was with KTM or whoever, like he always fell kind of on a bad year. Now, this year kind of worked out with Fly, and where you know he could kind of go shop around, and obviously JT knows, like you know, FXR was trying to make a bid for him too, and just I wanted to see him in something different. I wanted to see him have, you know, custom fitted gear and be treated right, whether that was with the FXR or Fly. Like I think a guy at that level should be absolutely tailored, clean look, clean cut, like, and they can do that.
Listen,
you know?
it's nothing against Thor guys, but man, the stuff's looked the same forever.
Yeah, I was over it.
I don't know. Like, look, they do their own thing, and they're not a sponsor of mine, so you know maybe it looks like sour grapes on mine. I don't know, but like, I'm with you. Like, dude, man, we kind of.
You just get burnt out at a certain point. It's just like he needed a change. You know, switch manufacturers cool, and he just needed a new look, and I think it's cool. Whether
Justin Cooper is an O'Neill now.
Justin
Cooper news just dropped too. So
HJC, right?
HJC and O'Neill. So good for Cooper. We're gonna have some different looks on the Star Yamaha guys side. What's the 250 team doing? Do we know?
250 team Star?
Yeah.
Thor again.
Oh, Thor again.
I got confirmation that last week.
Yeah. Because I'd heard all over things. A bunch of things.
Thor's back.
Yeah. Okay.
I think a lot of it too is it comes at a time where the apparel industry it's really tough right now, right? It's a soft market, and so I think the days of where you know these legendary brands could just go, we're just going to hire everybody.
Yeah,
that's really difficult to do right now because it just doesn't pencil out, and not only that, it doesn't even come close to penciling out. So when you look at like Justin Cooper switching, you look at Cooper Webb switching, these are brands that have had a really, really extensive coverage of riders. I think it's just presenting opportunity to more brands because we can be like, okay, we're going to go get our one guy. And the other brands are like, we can't afford to hire literally everyone. We're going to have to consolidate a little bit here. So it's not ideal. It's not the best way for this to kind of happen. But I think as far as more brands being able to kind of centerpiece around a guy, it's presented that opportunity.
I have one question. I'm nerd with this. What's his sizing? Like, what does he wear? Did he get fitted up?
Off season or in season?
What part of the season?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Obviously, he came up there, flew up there. Did he get sized up then? And what are the sizes right now?
Like a 29 would be
really
ideal for him. Yeah.
Maybe not during the off season, Chris.
A fucking 29?
Little.
Yeah.
You're not. What are you?
For him, right? It's
really.
It's not like we're going to build a completely different everything, but you know, just like you would a seamstress, like they'll tailor stuff and trim stuff, and you want them to feel as comfortable as possible, right? I don't think it's any secret that the gear that Justin Barsha or Jet Lawrence, those guys wear, that's not what people buy, right? It's totally different than that. And I don't even think that's really not what Cooper requested from us. Like he didn't want the skin suit that those guys are wearing. It's just really, can we envelop his body to where it's comfortable for him and not like he's wearing, you know, baggy gear, right? So I think he's more interested in like a happy medium than he is like the gear where it's literally looks like it's vacuum sealed.
Yeah, I just wanted to see him jump the finish line and like, you know, when he does a fist pump, it doesn't look like a fucking parachute from his jersey just flapping in the fucking wind, you know?
Yeah.
But JT, okay, so you signed Coop.
By the way, is Coop still in 100% goggles? Is that done, or is he switching goggles?
I think he's staying.
Okay. I don't know. He's not wearing a fly goggle. That's all I know.
I would assume he's staying. Right. But so you pay. You're paying Coop. That's a lot of money. You pay. You got the Husky brand. You got the Gas brand. You got the KTM Juniors. You guys have a lot of money going out in the space. At this point in time, does it all still make sense?
It does. We have actually, I'll be in studio next Monday, and I'll have more news to drop in studio.
Oh, yeah.
So that'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So we have one more big signing to drop a week from today. But yeah, it does, right? Like you have to really prioritize your budget, and the way we look at it, we've kind of been saving budget for a while because we haven't had that huge
the past
spend,
couple of years,
right?
yeah.
So yeah, if you kind of squirrel it away and understand that, hey, we're not spending it now and we may need it when the opportunity arises, then it kind of makes sense if you look at it big picture.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also kind of taking the approach that we want to be aggressive, right? It's not a great time for apparel, but this is a very cyclical business. And when things get stronger, we want to have been aggressive during that time so we can kind of really be strong when that turn comes. So that strategy served us well in the past, and I think it will again, right? If you don't believe in the business long term, then you probably should just pack up shop, right? So we're trying to position ourselves for what the industry is going to look like in 3 years, not necessarily in 2024.
And when do I come down for the seamstress stuff for the fitting?
Should we say point of the season for you
you're
too,
welcome
or
here
what?
I mean, every time you've been to Boise, you're here for like 6 hours, and then you fly home. So, you're welcome to Boise anytime.
And I did want to report that, unfortunately, the news that JT is dropping next week does not involve the Cool Team, the sponsorship of the Cool Team.
It does not.
No.
Actually, it is really cool, but it is not your Cool Team.
Yeah, that program's been shelved for 2025. We will revisit it for 2026. With Ted Parts going away, Anthony and JT were in studio. I pitched them.
Yeah.
I'll be the new guy. I need money for a semi.
Okay.
And it didn't work.
Nothing.
No, nothing, man. All the money went to Coop.
All that budget went to Coop.
Yeah, sad.
How much do you guys how much weight do you put on, I'm going to use this term, it's not going to sound good, but quality versus quantity. Quality Cooper Webb versus 20 or 30 privateers all on your stuff. So more eyes in the stadium are on those guys versus.
Well, they did do that before.
Yeah, but I mean, how do you kind of, where's that line?
So it's funny that you mentioned that, because when I look back on it, I think that we were in a position where the riders weren't willing, the riders that we wanted, guys that were winning championships and races, it was very hard for them to talk them into signing with us, right? And that slowly changed when we started getting riders like Zach and these guys. But early on, right, we weren't able to get Villapoto or Reed or Dungy or whoever, Tomac, right? Like, we couldn't get them, whether through financially or they weren't willing to sign on with our program, whichever side of that was relevant at the time. So what is your next course of action? If you can't get those guys, okay, let's just go get everybody then, right? Let's use our budget to blanket the field and help as many people as humanly possible and get exposure that way. Well, if you're doing your job correctly and you grow the brand the way you want to and you improve your image and the quality of the product and all those things, well, guess what? Those riders that you coveted for so long are willing to now be a part of what you're building and the direction you want to go. So that also creates a secondary decision of like, okay, well, we kind of have to somewhat abandon this plan of sponsoring everyone, because that's really expensive. Like, just because we're not writing those teams checks, the amount of product that we supply is really expensive, right? We have to pay for everything that we supply to everyone. So the dollars aren't really all that different. Mm-hmm. They're just kind of going in a different direction. So when you look at how much more exposure we're going to get, all the residual photos and all the advertisements that we're not paying for, like all the Yamaha ads and all these, monster ads and getting on the covers of magazines and all that TV time that we would be paying for in a different world, we're now getting residually through a guy like Cooper Webb or RJ or Hymus leading races or whatever. So it's, I don't know. I just think it's the natural progression of a brand to be where you want to be. If you want to be an elite brand and a brand that people that kids grow up idolizing, I just think it's a natural step where you have to have a multi-time champion wearing your stuff.
And
it's possible to avoid that.
And look at FXR. There's no secret. They took Fly's strategy a few years back and did the same route. And they've pulled back.
No doubt.
A lot of privateers got their stuff, but for a few years there, FXR looked at Fly, I think, and went, "Yep, let's do that. Mm-hmm. Let's get LCQ guys. Let's, absolutely." So it's a strategy.
And it's hard. It's really hard to remain that aggressive, especially when you probably have. And I know our former owner Craig. I guarantee somebody was telling him, like, "Hey, these numbers, this amount you're spending, that doesn't make sense, right?" And he's like, "You just have to believe that it's going to." And I would bet that Milt and his team were looking at it, going, "Yeah, doing this in off-road doesn't really make a lot of sense, but if we do it and we stick it out on the back end of it one day, it is,"
mm-hmm.
right? And that's just a commitment. I applaud those guys for being willing to believe, because I've been a part of that. Like, it's not an easy thing to continue to spend, but yeah, you're basically paving a pathway for returns on the back end eventually.
Did you get a call earlier from anybody from the Lions Den? JT?
I don't think so.
The mannequin took a shit and fell down in his Fly helmet. I don't know if it called you or what happened.
Yeah, he was in the S. He's in the S.
Yeah.
I think that's not an S. I think that's just a formula.
Oh, it's not an S?
It's just a formula.
Damn it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we didn't get 911.
That's why no one got called.
It's not the helmet with the brain.
Well,
Maybe this is the S.
Will be,
is this the S? Yeah, this is the S.
Cooper Webb gear will now be on the mannequin as of next Monday.
Is the Cooper Webb gear going to get sold to the public, like a limited edition? Yes or no?
We are trying to work things out. Like the way we would do it is probably through, if we did it, would be through SMX jerseys, right? But that's not for me to decide, right? Like, they need to sort all that stuff out on the business side. But yeah, I would love to be able to make his jerseys available.
Why can't you, like, let's say you make his, whatever, I'm just picking out a race, like an Indy race, like he has a special Indy
LE
gear.
stuff? Yeah, they're going to do that.
Would they do, like, hey, that's the Cooper Webb stuff, I want to buy that. Can you get it?
It's hard to do unless you have it in-house and someone can make it custom there and produce it out.
Yeah, I'm guessing we could. I don't think there's a plan to necessarily sell a Cooper Webb set of LE gear. But theoretically, sure, it's possible. Like, of course, anything's possible. But stuff like that, like, I don't always think it's a bad thing to have something be exclusive to Coop that you can't get, right? Like that. I think sometimes you have to make things available to consumers. But I mean, Cooper Webb's a special guy, right? Like, 2-time Monster Energy Supercross champion, 2-time or 3-time. I think he's got 5 titles total. Mm-hmm. It's okay for him to have something special that nobody else can ever get. Like, I'm okay with that in certain scenarios.
I was arguing with Steve about that. He's like, no. All those guys, all you guys, all your gear should be, available to the public.
Yep.
What, that's what they're paying you to do. And I'm like, well, at the elite level, I think it's cool for someone to wear, Jet, Coop, even me, like, wear something that the public can't see, but yet they say, like, yeah, that's still fucking cool. Because it still brings serious brand. It still brings brand awareness.
It does. It does. I'm such a business guy at heart that I want like a blend of both. Mm-hmm. I would love for some of those to be available, but every once in a while, I'm okay with having some exclusivity to it and be like, you know what? Nope, no one is ever going to wear that particular set of gear other than Cooper Webb ever. Right? Like, I'm okay with that.
Fly Racing, flyracing.com. Use the code PulpMX to save direct from Fly Racing and save with those guys and get yourself some cool new stuff from Fly Racing.
How much is the PulpMX code?
If you, I think it's I don't know actually. I think it's 20%.
JT?
10%?
15.
15?
Okay.
If you get Fly Racing too, by the way, you will get lots of finishes between 12 and 19 at your local races.
Yep.
And then hopefully your Fly rep doesn't shit on you. Hopefully. But please check it out, flyracing.com. JT, I did 6 motos. And it's grinding.
I'm very excited about this. Like, were you worried about just kind of your body giving out on you?
Yeah, it's GH. I really was.
No, I'm not. I'm being 100%
he had GHB.
Giving you shit. I'm questioning.
Are you coming out for the 24-hour, JT? You said you were a few years ago. Is your commitment still there?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm not.
Wow.
That changed quick.
Yeah, because he was. Wasn't he in?
Yeah, he was in.
I would be willing to do it, but I don't even know when it is. I haven't even ridden a dirt bike.
It's next October.
Yeah, you got over a year.
Oh,
or less.
yeah. Okay. If it's planned, then I would likely do it. I thought you meant it was like next weekend or something.
No, next October. Next October, we get 6 of us to do it. Maybe we get 2 teams. I don't know. We can do whatever.
Yeah.
And then
Phil said he's in.
Yeah, and then we have a good time.
Yeah, I would do it in that scenario. Yes, I would.
Okay.
Phil's not in. Phil's not in.
After this past weekend, JT, I'm rethinking. You might see me at Anaheim.
Is there a maximum number of team members?
6.
Oh, so it's 6.
Yeah,
okay.
6. JT, before we let you go here, you were down under doing some TV stuff. Can we just talk about Savachi on top of the bridge and then off?